Nakarosu 82.99.
Hey, what's up, sports fans, and welcome to 30 consecutive days of Guild Ball at Comic Quest. And today we are celebrating with a game of two captains, old school, Season 1 Blackheart versus Ox. This is my Union team, and I'm coming in with Blackheart, Coin, Decimate, Snakeskin, Harry the Hat, and Minx. Meanwhile, Cody is coming in with some old school Ox, Princess, Brisket, Boar, Boiler, and Shank. You can see the kickoff is going into that rough ground there, and that's Shank kicking off right in front of Snakeskin there. And now I've got to decide here what I'm going to do with the ball. So, two really cool old school teams. Harry the Hat is the only character from Season 2 or later. And so I call this list Plastic Man. This list is designed to stretch the field. It can score goals, it can take out targets, but it is very low health and a little bit squishy. And so I'm a little nervous coming in against Ox here. Ox being one of my favorite captains in all of Guild Ball, believe it or not. And he is kind of the butcher captain that I would love to play at some point. So, as you can see, I've organized my tokens in a really good pile there. And we've allocated influence, and we're gonna get ready to get going. Look at the organization. I know, you're just jealous. So we're gonna start with Coin. Coin is gonna put Bag of Coffers onto Snakeskin, slide across the field, and sort of drop that ball off right there in over to Harry the Hat. Meanwhile, Cody's gonna just bring Princess up the field there. Let's zoom in a little bit and figure out what Harry's gonna do. Like, thinking about dropping this ball, probably not the best idea. And I'm gonna measure this out and see, hey, I'd love to get Goad off on Shank there and kind of draw him away from where the ball will eventually be. But that rough ground right in front of me is really kind of messing with my ability to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pass the ball over to Decimate and successfully bank that. Then I'm going to jog up 5 and throw a Molotov right there at the feet of Shank. This does not connect because it's only one die, and why would you expect me to be able to roll 4? What's the matter with you? That said, that's the end of Harry's activation, and it looks like Cody's trying to figure out how to get his boys into the action there. And so he's going to throw Ox right into the middle of the field there. Really interesting choice here. And we talked about this afterwards. We're not so sure this was the best way to do it, because this opens up a lot of potential for me. I'm going to slide Decimate behind the scrimmage line there, because the Snick is now in the way. That's Coin, the Snick. And I'm going to pass that ball over to Snakeskin. And we are not within 4 inches of the hat, so I'm just gonna bank that momentum. I don't recall here if yeah, it looks like he's deciding if he's gonna bring Boiler in, and he will. He's just gonna tuck Boiler in right behind that that whirligig right there, and I think he throws Swift Stance onto Ox. I'm going to charge him and try to remove that Swift Stance with Minx there. So you can see Minx taking the charge on Ox. I believe she does connect, and she does a couple of points of damage here. I think it's like 3 damage and a dodge, and she manages to get that. Actually, no, she gets Screaming Banshee in. So Screaming Banshee and Snare, which is fantastic. -2 defense, and I do a couple of dodges, and then back to the shadows, back towards my line. This looks like Shank is going to pop out here, and he's going to do, well, Ox, he had previously done They Ain't Tough to Harry, and now Shank's going to come in. He's going to do an attack. He does a little bit of damage here. I'm going to counter, push Shank back, and Shank's gonna just, where'd they go? Right back in. And this time he's gonna be within Ox's aura. Do a little bit more damage to Harry. That does net me some momentum though for Rising Anger. So right now I'm doing really well on the momentum front. So now it looks like it's time to go with Snakeskin. She's going to Shadow Like up to there. She's got the ball. She's going to charge Ox. So Ox has currently only -1 defense because on Shank's activation he grabbed a couple of momentum and then was able to clear the snare from Ox. So here's the charge from Snakeskin. And who put up Clone before charging. So she put up Clone, charged. I think she's going to get a little bit more. I think she gets a damage out of this. I don't recall. She's taking a dodge, so that's not damage. She's going to get over to within range of Harry there. She wants the 4-inch dodge. She's going to kick at a penalty over to Blackheart and connect there. Blackheart is going to slide up, and we're going to bank the momentum because of Harry's hat there. Boar's going to try to figure out if he can get in on this fight or not. And he's not quite there, so he's just going to hang out by cover. So now I'm going to go with Blackheart, and I'm looking at my goal run. Like if I'm going to do a goal run at this point against I could possibly do it against Ox. Manage to get on my mark off Ox, but then I'd have to pass to an engaged Snakeskin, which is not the best idea. Trying to nail that 5, and then call it back from Snakeskin. So what I decided to do instead, because the ball's in a fairly safe spot being here with Blackheart, and I am clearly ahead on the momentum race, I'm just going to start doing some choppy chop on Ox here. I'm going to pick on him. I have a full clip on Mr. Blackheart, who has an excellent playbook, one of my favorite playbooks in the entire game of Guild Ball. Structurally similar to, say, like an Honor. In particular, that momentous 1 double dodge on 2 columns. It's just amazing defensive tech, but it's also great for kind of getting around. So I'm going to do quite a bit of damage here to Ox and just leave him on 5 health actually, and just bank like 7 momentum. Finally, you see Brisket coming in on there at the bottom of the screen. So that's going to end the first turn. I am well ahead on momentum here. So I play the card that, like, you know, hey, if you manage to kill somebody, I get to keep their influence. I forget the one that Cody played. But anyways, I do have initiative here. Oh, I forgot to say that Brisket did manage to throw dirty knives at Blackheart, so he does have a poison counter there. That poison's going to tick down a little bit. We're going to allocate some influence here. And now this game is really going to start to kick up, so super fun match. Let's see what we got here. So I'm going to start with the man Blackheart. I'm going to Shadow Like back towards my own line and put up from the shadows and give everybody in that 6-inch aura +1 defense, which is absolutely brilliant on his feet turn. The only person that does not get it is Decimate. So Decimate has to suffer through 4-1 while everybody else is supporting some really nice defensive tech right now. So with that, Blackheart is going to start the choppy chop into Ox. He's going to do Butchery, Momentous Butchery, and then I think he just kills him on like the next attack or two. So he's going to spend that last attack kind of going into, I believe he ends up going into Ox, yeah. So he's going to go into Ox. He's going to do some dodging off of Ox's, out of Ox's melee there. And then he still has 2 left. So that was the counterattack from Ox. Is just gonna do. Ox is thinking about pushing him back into. Yeah, he's gonna push him back into a crowd out area. So I'm gonna have to spend 1 more, and I'm gonna get the same result. Momentous 1 double dodge on 2 results. It's amazing. So finally sprint into tap in range and kick the goal there. I may not exactly be at tap-in range. I don't think at the end it mattered. With all of that, the takeout and the goal, that puts the Union up 6 to the Butcher 0. This ball's going to go right back into Brisket there, who has this absolutely clear lane, and she's going to take her shot. Why not? She doesn't, why give Minx a free charge to take that ball and snapshot off of Blackheart? So she's going to come in, kick that goal, putting the Butchers to 4 to the Union 6, and she's going to slide over to Minx, try to lock her down, take that free charge away. I'm going to throw this ball back in. It's actually going to get grabbed by Shank. So now Shank has the ball. There's a little bit of a problem here. So I got to decide, what am I going to do? What I'm going to do? Yes, Snakeskin is sitting on 6 defense against Shank right now. She's going to take her Shadow-like. She'll tackle the ball. She's going to tackle dodge, actually. But tackle dodge on a 1-inch melee is not it's just not a good plan, because she can't leave Shank's melee, and she doesn't want to go forward because that will put her into Boar's melee. So I'm trying to think. I've got 1 influence here. What do I want to do? I could try passing to Minx, or I could try passing to the Snek. And so I go, hey, why not pass to the Snek? And this is a bad idea. So there's the tackle dodge there. I'm like, who should I pass to? Who should I pass to? I figure if I pass to the Snek, I can at least teamwork out, since Harry's right there. So let's do that. So I try to pass to the Snek. And, well, this is me rolling dice. You guys know how this goes, right? So I'm thinking maybe I can pass it out into space, which might not have been a terrible idea, but nah, let's pass to the Snek. Let's roll a couple of dice and miss. So we miss. We mark the ball, and based on the trajectory of the ball path, Mr. Shank can pick it up. So Shank picks up that ball. So Shank's going to intercept it, and I end up exactly where I was at the start of that activation. So good job. Good, just really, really proud of the good decisions and dice rolling. Super, super fine play here. Okay. Meanwhile, it looks like I think Cody's looking at his next activation. He's gonna just start. He's gonna actually. I take. Yeah, He takes Shank, tries to attack Harry. Harry swings back and knocks him down, knocking the ball out to there. Shank is gonna get back up and just continue some choppy chop on Harry there. So not the best activation, but hey, Harry is he's looking pretty weak at the moment. I've got to figure out what to do at the bottom of the screen there, where Minx is locked lip to lip with Brisket. So I'm not sure. I think they're lip to lip. They don't look exactly in this photo or in the video here. I'm not entirely sure. So Harry's going. He's going to take a swing there at Shank. I believe he knocks him down again. And now I got to decide. I think I'm going to jog up to Boar. Because why not? If I'm going to die, let's die in style. So he jogs right there over to Boar. He's going to take a swing on Boar. And manages to only get, I think, just a push. So if I only get a push, we're gonna go close. I tried to get him out of that cover, and it looks like I wasn't quite able to do that. Meanwhile, Princess is gonna come over, start chewing on Harry. So she charges Harry and then attacks again, does more chew toy-like maneuvers to Mr. Hat. And Mr. Hat's not doing too well. Not the South Park character. I don't know why are we calling him Mr. Hat. Anyway, Coin is going to go over there, try to get over to Brisket. I was going to try to get him to try to bait him into using unpredictable movement, but didn't have the Sneck. Once again, poor positioning by the Sneck. Could not get what he wanted there. Meanwhile, Boiler is going to come in and just finish the job on Harry here. And there goes Harry. So now suddenly we're back at a tie game. Union 6, Butchers 6. And unfortunately, the way that Boiler had to come in, he's got no other targets. He's got a couple of influence. I think he's just got a swift stance on, what does he do? Shank, I think? I think he does Shank. Yeah, there we go. So now I've got Minx here against Brisket, who so I'm gonna dodge out of combat, and yeah, we were not exactly lip to lip, so I can dodge out of combat from the first attack, which also snared her, and then charge on the second attack, right? Or did I wait? What did I do? Oh yeah, I dodged out of her and then charged Boar with the second attack. So it's a nice way to just kind of snare dodge and then charge Boar, do more damage to Boar, snare him as well. And then I'm going to back to the shadows over to the ball. And I still had an extra dodge there. So I actually, it looks like I got that's right, I got a total of 3-inch dodges off of that charge, which allowed me to snap the ball. And then I backed to the shadows backwards and then left that ball in space. I'm not sure why. I think, oh yeah, it's because I've got Decimate like over on the edge of the screen. Cody's gonna do, looks like he tries to do an attack on Snakeskin, and the thumbs up towards the camera means nothing happens. Snakeskin's defense 6 right now, so this is bad. So he's just gonna, instead of doing his free charge, he's just gonna walk over and snap that ball. I didn't notice this until I was watching the film afterwards, that Cody's going to thumbs up every time the dice do not go in his favor. And it's gonna be a few times. Spoiler alert. Okay, so previously was Bag of Coffered by Coin there. I must have missed that act. Oh, that's what it did before it slid over. And so I'm going to charge Boar here with Decimate. Which is awesome because even though Boar had cleared his snare, I'm still going to get a lot of dice, and I'm also going to get anatomical precision, and I'm hoping for that tackle double dodge, which is what I get on the charge. So I tackle double dodge, and that drops me, I'm able to dodge not quite out of his melee, but right there, kind of wedged in between Minx and Brisket. So we flip the cards for the next turn. I was leading on momentum again, so I win momentum again this time and give +1 tack to Decimate, who's currently sitting there with the ball in melee with Brisket. No unpredictable movement used. So I'm going to give her a full clip. Blackheart sitting there with poison down at the end zone, basically. So I'm going to load him up. Now, I forgot to mention, I believe... Oh, I think I only give Snakeskin 1 because she suffered bleed last turn. I think she got hit by Boiler, if I'm remembering this right. Or maybe that might happen this turn, I forget. Okay, so now I've got Decimate, and Brisket is still snared, so I'm going to take a couple of dodges. So swing 1, dodge. I guess Brisket does not take a counterattack on me. Yeah. So I had to dodge. I had to get a couple of dodges to get out of combat. So 2 attacks, 2 dodges, sprint right there next to Blackheart, kick another goal. Goal is good. And now that puts the Union to 10, Butcher 6. So I'm looking pretty good, but the problem is all the Butchers are in really good health except for Ox here, who's just coming in at the top of the screen. I forgot to mention that. He's standing there right next to the barrier, if you're wondering. So Ox, unfortunately, does not play a factor in this game. He just got taken out too early. There's another thumbs up. Not doing too well, Cody, on the rolling there. But you can see the ball has scattered out towards Shank. And so Shank tried to do a little bit of damage to Snakeskin. He wasn't able to do a whole lot, but he is able to pick up the ball out there in space and kick a goal. And now things are heating up because I'm looking at Snakeskin. She has 5 health right now, and Shank is going to slide right back into her. So if I don't win right now, my thinking here is if I don't win right now, I'm going to lose this game because Snakeskin is going to die immediately. Like any one of these Butchers could sneeze on her and end this game. So I'm going to throw this ball in all the way in between Brisket and Minx there and hope for a good scatter. And I get one. I get a really good scatter off to the 3 there. So if if that ball goes to Princess, this game is over. If that ball goes to Boiler, it's not the end of the world. If it goes to Boar, also not the end of the world. But even perfect is just right there in space. I Shadow Like to pick up the ball. I have to like adjust my little Shadow Like, so I have to get closer to Boiler so that I'm not crowded out here. I like that we can just discuss stuff like that. You know, if this was a tournament, I'm sure he could have called me on it. But I was like, no, my intention was to Shadow Like out of Boars. And I had the 2 inches to do it. So I get a quick dodge off of Boiler there. And then sprint up. And kick the final goal. I think, right? I forget. Oh no, I couldn't. I didn't have enough influence. I only had 1 on her. So she sprinted up, she healed herself, and then she dropped the ball over to Blackheart. So now the pressure's on Cody to try to end this game. So Cody goes in with Boiler, full clip on Minx. And Minx is sitting on 10. And so he's got to roll pretty well here. And the first couple of rolls, I think he does like Momentous 2 or Momentous 3 damage. So it's looking pretty scary for me. But he's going to get a crap, there's the thumbs up, he's going to get a crap roll towards the middle of this influence stack and not be able to finish her off. So in frustration, I think he's just going to knock her down. So that's it. I mean, that's there. And now Blackheart has the ball. He has 4 influence on him. I thought about maybe passing and then calling it back, but that would waste my 4 influence. So I'm just going to take the 3 die shot and finish the game there. Union 12, the Butchers 10. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.